think that perhaps the foreign or American analysis is missing? What's important for our viewers to be paying attention to right now?
My concern, David, is that there's so many distractions and tactical considerations that the big goal, which is bringing down this evil jihadist Shiite fundamentalist regime, that should be the main goal. Right now, talks are obviously not going to do that. Why are there even talks to begin with? This is not clear how that comes together with the goal of bringing the regime down. Now, the other thing is that even a major aerial assault, there's no guarantee that that's what's going to bring the regime down, because we are lacking the component of a organized, well-armed ground force in Iran, which is usually what's needed. And until that arrives, what will these forces be providing air cover to? Sure, they can devastate the regime's core targets, the IRGC. They can target the leadership. But you have 2 million besieged militiamen, all very heavily armed, on their motorcycles and rooftop snipers. These are cold-blooded murderers, and airstrikes are not enough to take them out. So my concern, David, is that we are not hearing a clear strategy right now out of Washington. And, there are ways, if people are willing to consider longer-term measures, for example, an oil embargo that's enforced by the mighty U.S. Navy and allies, bringing in weapons, taking some time to bring weapons and arming the Iranian people so that there's an actual ground force that can be supported from the air. It won't be something that happens overnight. This will take a little bit of time. But choking off the regime, arming the people of Iran who are desperate for real help, that can bring the regime down. And so my hope is that we will be hearing some voices that will be offering some longer-term strategic goals, because the main goal here has to be bringing the regime down, not punishing it, not getting to some sort of interim deal that will give everybody some downtime until the next confrontation. The regime has got to fall. So we have to think about how to do that. And anything that falls short of that, unfortunately, is going to be a distraction.
And I think you're bringing sort of a broad Israeli consensus on this issue. I think Israel's come to understand this foe in Tehran has defined the game as us or them in terms of the regime. Interesting, I think, for us to talk about that discussion inside Israel, because I think it's coming up daily, everywhere you go. In the Purim holiday significance, too, that we hear more and more mentioned. Obviously, this holiday this coming week, commemorating previous ancient Persian threats that emerged. The war feels inevitable, hanging over us here in Israel, but I think people are feeling galvanized right now. How do you describe, the Israeli perspective on this?
I think, there's a range of views here. Obviously, many people here want to see this attack go ahead, and for very obvious, reasons. This is our mortal enemy. Yeah. This is the biggest threat that remains out of the entire Shiite axis. This is the mothership that remains standing. And of course, now that this massive American force has amassed, there are many Israelis who want to see this attack go ahead, even though they are fully aware of the fact that this will likely result in missiles, incoming missiles coming in our direction. But I think, there's also a debate here, particularly among former members of the defense establishments. You can see some of this debate online. And they are also asking some people, what is going to happen next? What is the next step? What's the goal here? This is the question. And that brings me back to, what I was saying earlier. I think that we in Israel definitely need to look at strategic pathways and offer them to the United States for bringing the regime down. In terms of what Israel has done in June, the goal was to roll back significantly the nuclear and the missile capabilities. These were existential threats, each in their own right, and Israel succeeded in that with American help. I think that this is actually the most successful military operation in the 21st century is that operation. It was an incredible operation that will be studied for years, the various components, the air, the special forces on the ground, all of it together. So that was aimed at basically removing capabilities. If we're talking about regime change, we need a ground component. We need to choke the economy off. These negotiations won't bring down the regime. And maybe a powerful attack, if it's a one-off, won't either. So I think we need to think longer term, David.
Yaakov Lapin, always good to have you with us on this.